Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion.
Hello once again and welcome to Poetry in Motion Sunday. I'm Craig Lewis and you're watching episode 16. Let's get straight into it. The first poem I'm going to read today is called The Might Have Beens and the Life We Settled For. When ambitions from the past rise like ghosts and take on the task to haunt you and taunt you like a payback for neglect, like a loan shark you've acquainted has returned to collect his debts, you may feel like a hex has been placed before your eyes. Wasted chances multiplied by empty promises compromised, because you never honored the notion of the power of the mind. Devoured by the signs of doubt, timing out like 3 zeros on a stopwatch. You stop and watch the images that filter through your mind, like a movie on a reel. The images that you once dreamed but didn't quite fulfill. So like an envelope, your dreams you closed them up and sealed. And now to the life revealed before your eyes that you have chose. If less highs and lows have rose, here's how to counteract and bounce right back to frequencies that were once high. The unknown could bring more joy than pain if you adopted the hunch to try. At times it's change we self-deny and thus avoid taking such risk. The words I can't appear to be such danger to the lips. 'Cause things we speak and do believe, good or bad we do receive. If you would leave the learning one is far too old for change, maybe you'd regain the spark to stand and try again. Second poem is called The Girl That Hated Reading. There was once a girl named Verona who would seldom read at all. When it came to turning pages over, into the land of nod she'd fall. When she was asked to read in class, the task she would pass and then get sent out the door. When it came to revising for a test, she failed to meet the teacher's request and hence received low scores. Why, oh why, the teacher probed, do books in your life seem so closed? At reading times the least involved you are, and thus the least to receive a star that scold, forever failing to read when told. Your parents I feel must be in vogue, so this problem right here is solved. Verona got narky, agreed with this heartily, began to scream and shout. The teacher took Verona's phone, so this she's now without. She requested it back to no avail, and as sharp as a tat said go to hell. As she stormed out the room, her belongings were left inside her bag, so she will be back soon. Meantime to home the call was made, her mum's now on the line. It seems her hate for reading has appeared the longest time. Such notion was a teacher's, but reality said not so. 'Cause Verona is bright like the stars of the night, but often she does play the fool to catch the wise. And now the masters took away, the teacher now could see the plot. Verona could read, but chooses not. And my third poem is called The Power of the Mind. The pace of life is never slow, a smiley face forever glows. Some seek signs that never show, like for Godot they were waiting. Some people view their life's a gift, and some wish to escape them. Some do via substances, but the wise do via a bracing. The passive are merely like a crowd that gather to watch the same thing. Daily unfold, no goals and dreams dissolved, like powder inside the clothes in the machine. Spinning like the axis does the world. Some big boys resist the cry and say that acts for girls. And that's the world their lens exposes. If one's faith was the strength of Moses, one's hope would come to life. They'd understand the notion to be reborn does not mean born twice. They'd find the fuel for mind renewal, the finest tool one can possess. For it's here we visualize the things we manifest. If one could invest in vices, costing prices every time, then why not invest in a priceless gift called The Power of the Mind. And my fourth and final poem is called Behind the Mask. She wore an avatar like a bodysuit, herself she kept disguised. She laughed at jokes and smiled at blokes to hide the pain within her eyes. She had no faith in words of truth like you're beautiful, had traumas from her youth, so instead she lives for lies. Like I can change this guy if I love hard enough, though he beats me often and scars me up. She's been dealt the hardest luck, but such a gentle soul. In life she's lost some loved ones that wasn't meant to go. Kept youthful via surgery so wrinkles never rise. She's known to counter lows with the substances she buys. Each time before the mirror, she'd avoid her reflection's eyes. She's a stranger to herself, a sucker for the bad guy endangering her mental health. Her pleas for help may seem unnoticed, such avatars convinced that one is happy and content, so well that one can't tell if one is lacking strength. And she's wore it for a while. The time she should have cried out loud, she often wore a smile. She's been taught this style by the society that shaped her, to say nothing as a juvenile when grown men would violate her. And that's my poetry fix for you for this week. Hope you enjoyed. Until next week, short and sweet. Take care.
Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday poetry in motion. Poetry in motion, Sunday.